Hello everyone, and welcome once again to another video for the channel. This time I bring you the review of Unearthed Journey, an amazing mod to create portals in time and learn about the prehistoric world and people. I have to say it, I think that today, this is one of the most original concepts and fun prehistoric mods. Well, basically everyone will follow the same rule. Find new minerals from fossils, revive them with the help of some machine, and each creature will have a special function. Alex-type mobs. Yes, the truth is that there is not much change, that this mob will be like a breath of fresh air. But before starting, let me ask you please, you subscribe and leave your like, since that is going to be helping a lot to continue uploading content like this every week with your help. The army of piglets becomes smaller every day, more powerful. So, if you also want to be a piglet, and don't miss any of my videos, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now, and without further ado, let's get started. This mod is called Unearthed Journey, an amazing prehistoric themed mod with a very particular and unique style. Well, the idea of it will not be bringing creatures into the present. No, quite the opposite. We will be the ones who will travel to their time. But one thing before continuing. This mod is still in development phase. Well, there will be things like tables, tools, or armor that cannot be obtained. However, that is the least of it. Well, even so, this mod will continue to be updated. In addition to this, now in our world, we will find some new creatures, of which there will only be a few. Well, the majority will live in their own time portal. But this is something worth mentioning, since among them is my favorite, the Thylacine or Tasmanian tiger, a marsupial extinct in 1936 due to his excessive house. But well, let's continue because I'm getting sad. The first thing we should do is to find this new structure. Having the shape of an ancient pyramid, medium-sized, it will actually be much larger in size. Counting on a camera trap and hiding places with chests, being basically an end fortress. But well done, once we manage to find the right path and collecting some treasures from the chests, we will arrive at the small underground biome, which will keep a terrible secret. A huge ancient serpent that will spring from a small well. Although it will not be able to do melee damage, it will be able to spit out a dangerous poisonous fire with quite a bit of drive. If we manage to defeat him, he will be leaving us his eye, which will be the most important object in the entire mod. Returning to the surface, now we must focus our attention to the creation of new portals, of which we will have 3, each taking us to a different time in our world. The Paleogene from 63 to 23 million years ago. The Neogene from 23 to 2.6 million years ago. And finally, the Pleistocene from 2.6 million years to 11,700 years. To be able to create these portals, we will need to place, in the corners of the portal itself, a block with the face of a creature. These blocks cannot be created, but it can be found in 2 ways. One, going to the previous structure and check the hidden chests. Or also, finding portals and ruins around our world. Which, by the way, you will also need this new type of bricks, which can also be found in these same places. Well, having said that, now let's take our first trip through time, heading towards the Paleogene period. We are in the Paleogene period, approximately 66 million years ago, and the oldest period to which we can travel with this mod. See here, I want to emphasize again that we still won't be able to get certain items, When killing creatures, such as skins or their flesh, I don't think it's really necessary either. Explain the topic of objects, being quite intuitive. You're not going to kill a crocodile to get a real bear skin. Even so, I will only comment on basic things about the dimensions and of the creatures. Of course, first of all, being a totally different world, we will find new vegetation and fauna. In this case, new trees and building blocks. Well, the stone that we will have in this new dimension will be different, including mineral variations. As for creatures, we will have the following. Carbonemes will be a species of primitive turtle that will appear in the Carayon biome. The Archrontissus will appear in the Carayon biome. The Eel constrictor will be a small type of snake
Será un pequeño tipo de serpiente
that may appear in the
parecer
Carayon
uno de
biome.
Carrejón.
The Propyliothrium is already a distant relative of today's horses. The Capitodon is a medium-sized mammal, similar to squirrels. The Puleoperca will be a species of primitive bony fish that will appear in the sea. The Gastornis is a huge bird, also known as terror bird. Titanobo is possibly the largest genus of snake, largest of the entire planet, that we can find in the Carayon biome. The Enheima will be a species of bird that, curiously, he is still alive today too. Just like chickens, they will occasionally drop an egg. We can find it in the Carayon biome. The lungfish will be a species of fish, also known as lungfish, because it will have the ability to live on the surface and move with their small limbs. This one will live in the Carayon biome. The Arapaima is a large freshwater fish that will live in Carayon biomes. Leptictidium is a small creature and one of the few mammals that move on two legs. Masselosteus will be an extinct genus of gar, similar to the needlefish. The Aliochles, it will be a small extinct genus of turtle who will dwell in the sea. The Messilurrizer, it will be a small extinct bird that will appear in forests. And the Maciloraptor, it will be an extinct genus of the falcon family. Neogene period, approximately 23 million years ago, will have a mostly wooded and beachy appearance, which will feature the following creatures. The Papasaconcha, it will be a kind of primitive snail who will live in the forests. The Natasichus, it will be an extinct species of alligator, small in size. The Pebonista is after a primitive dolphin that lives in rivers, and their main food was fish, in addition to reaching up to 3.5 meters in length. Hydrolysicus will be a very particular genus of fish for its enormous fangs, who will live in Los Rios. El Pseudoprepitherium, it is a species of large sloth, but not as much as his older brother. El Megatherium, who will bear the nickname of giant sloth. Brachyplastistum, it will be a kind of fish that normally will live in rivers. Trigodon will be an extinct genus of mammals, with a small horn and inconspicuous. And finally, the Purosaurus, which was one of the alligator genera, greatest that have ever existed, and can reach up to 12 meters in length. And with this we arrive at the Pleistocene period, and the closest to modern times, counting on an appearance from the terraforming of the planet, much more similar to what we have today. And of course, also in creatures, of which in this case we will have the following. Platygonus will be an extinct genus, very similar to a modern wild boar. The alligators, they will be a creature related to crocodiles, and alligators also known as lizards. The Dasypus will be a creature, also known as armadillo. The Arctidus, also known as the short-faced bear. It was one of the bear genera, greatest that have ever existed. Titanus was an extinct genus of flightless birds, quite aggressive, earning its name for its large size, where they can measure up to 0.5 meters. The Tapirus is a large mammal of the Tapiridae family, being the last survivor of its other 9 genera already extinct today. And finally, the Oxyrhynchus. It is a kind of fish, which will normally feed on crustaceans and mollusks. And with all this, we have finished our tour. This mod really has incredible potential. Since, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it moves away from the classic theme of prehistoric mods, even serving as something educational, showing us unknown creatures and how things were in those times, even though they are not finished. Remains one of the best options regarding prehistoric mods. But tell me what you thought of this mod. What period did you find most interesting? Or if you would add any new creatures. Also, what other types of mods with a prehistoric theme would you like them to appear in the next video? I'll be reading you in the comments. And well guys, I hope you liked it. That they are fun, which is the most important thing for me. If you liked the video, I would ask you to please leave your like. What did you think of this video? What other types of videos would you like to see on the channel? And also subscribe. This is very important. Remember that dinosaurs didn't read the newspaper. And see you in the next video, bye.